The moon was silent, cold, dead at least. Mining, they had found strange energy readings coming from below the lunar surface. Their team landed with excitement. Old human junk, maybe, one miner said, laughing. But something was wrong. The rock wasn't normal. The ground beneath shook lightly. Then, from deep inside the moon, something responded, not words. One of the miners saw something moving inside the rock, a giant eye, he screamed. The last message sent from the ship was a whispering voice. It's not ... natural, it's alive. It's ... watching us. Then silence. Across the galaxy, the message was received by the Galactic Council. Leave their solar system. You think they hide monsters under the moon? More laughter? Maybe it was just gas. Or bad food, joked another. They all laughed at Earth again, just like always. But back on Earth, no one laughed. By time the humans had a secret, one they never spoke about, not in public, not even in their own files, Project Leviathan. It was never a weapon. It was a warning, and now it was online. In the outer orbit of Mars, a small scientific station picked up strange readings. Went red. Warning. Unknown power source detected beneath lunar surface. The station's commander. Could it be alien tech? Her assistant asked. Rena shook her head. No, it's using human frequencies, ancient ones. In the Galactic Council's war room, things were no longer funny. The Garaki mining ship had vanished, not destroyed, erased. No trace, not even metal. The Council's top scientists tried to explain it. Maybe a black hole, a natural collapse, a space-time fault. But one young voice from the back of the room spoke clearly. It wasn't nature, it was Earth. Everyone turned. A small alien, covered in pale fur, stood nervously. I come from a border world. My people used to trade with humans a long time ago. They stopped answering our calls. But my grandfather told stories. What kind of stories? It was alive, and it was waiting. In the shadows of the moon, something massive shifted. A giant metal plate turned. Liquid metal flowed through thick veins, a giant machine shaped like a sphere. The size of a small moon was waking up. Its skin was not made of steel, but something stronger, something unknown to the rest of the galaxy. On its surface, a symbol glowed. U.S. Leviathan, Earth's last voice, from the heart of the machine. A pulse went out again, but this time, the whole solar system felt it. News spread fast. A Zuran scout ship, but from fear. The moon had just opened an eye. A glowing red sphere appeared on the dark side. Not a weapon, just a glowing circle. Watching, one of the Zuran officers whispered, "It's not a machine, it's a warning." New Earth had been hiding something, and whatever it was, no one laughed anymore. They stared at the final image from the Garaki ship, a shadow moving beneath the surface of the moon. As a city, a message followed soon after, hacked into every council feed. You laughed at Earth, you pushed us. Then silence, true silence. The Galactic Council had made a decision. Enough was enough. They believed Earth was becoming dangerous. First, the mining crew vanished. Now, this silent threat, this Leviathan, too big to ignore. So they sent a fleet, not just any fleet, a Zuran Imperial Patrol Armada, 300 warships, investigate the object near the moon, and send a message to humans. Stop whatever you're doing, or be destroyed. As the fleet approached Earth's orbit, everything seemed quiet. Too quiet, the warships circled the planet, moving like sharp knives in the black sky. Captain Blue, he said, so peaceful. Yet they dare hide weapons like this. Let's show them what real power is. They aimed their scanners at the moon's far side, but found nothing. No signals, no weapons, no defense. Captain Terrell laughed. He opened a transmission to the Galactic Council. We see nothing unusual. Preparing to descend, that's when it happened. The stars disappeared, one by one. Lights in the sky went dark behind the fleet. Stared in silence. That's not the moon. It was a Leviathan, a warship the size of a small planet floating just beyond the dark side of the moon. Its surface was smooth. The ships began to vanish. The first destroyer blinked out of space. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Then 3 more. Ships turned, reversed, activated shields, nothing worked. They were erased, one by one, like pieces being removed from a board. But his voice never reached the others, because his ship was next. Back at the Galactic Council, silence filled the hall as the live feed cut to static. The room full of leaders, once loud and arrogant, now stared at blank screens. "What?" asked one of the council members. A technician whispered, "They're all gone. The entire Zuran armada, destroyed." On Mars Station, Dr. Rena Sol watched in fear. Her computers showed a strange energy pattern spreading from the moon. It was from 5 different sources, each one the size of a moon. Each one moving, Rena whispered. "There's more than one Leviathan. There's a whole fleet." Every known language, even ancient ones long forgotten. It read, "This was a warning. You approached our home with war. There will not be a second warning." The message faded. Then an image appeared. One frame. Planet-sized warships had revealed its full form. Its sides were covered in ancient human writing. One word glowed brighter than all. Leviathan. Now the galaxy was no longer laughing now. They were terrified asterisk. For centuries, Earth had no voice in the Galactic Council. They were called a young race, shared technology, made laws, and laughed at humans behind their backs. Let them stay on their small blue planet, they used to say. Let them fight each other and dream small. But now, near Earth, the galaxy stopped. Laughing news spread fast. 300 warships gone without a trace. A single massive ship spotted behind Earth. A message broadcast in every language. People were afraid. Even the oldest empires, the ones that had survived black hole storms and ancient wars, felt fear in their bones. They asked, "Who controls the Leviathans? Is Earth under attack or in command?" But Earth remained silent. No response, no message. A worried galaxy. "This cannot be human technology," one expert said. "No species can hide planet-sized warships for this long," a scientist replied, "unless they were never building to show off. They were building to survive." "Survive what?" Whispered, "Survive you, us, the rest of the galaxy." Some demanded war. Others called for peace. A voice cut through the noise. Planning, and now, they have arrived. That night, everything changed again. At exactly midnight Earth time. Feed live from Earth orbit. The camera shook slightly. It showed the planet in the distance. Then the moon. Then something rising behind it, a shape that made the entire galaxy freeze. A voice.cold.com/human. "We asked for peace. You gave us silence. We asked to join." Of glowing engines. Then the voice continued, "We will not conquer. We will not rule, but we will not kneel." The screen went black. The next morning. Earth still said nothing. Only the Leviathans hovered in the dark watching, waiting, glowing like sleeping gods. And now, across the galaxy, the phrase had changed. They no longer said, "Earth is a joke." Now they whispered. And the galaxy finally listened back. The galaxy was in fear. Too massive. Leviathans now hovered in Earth's orbit, each the size of a small moon, each completely silent. No movement, no message, just watching. But fear quickly turned into desperation. The Galactic Council met again, this time in total panic. Some leaders wanted peace. Some wanted to run. But the powerful empires wanted war. "They are a threat," said High General Vorshoff. The Jarkari Dominion was prepared, not just any fleet, the Grand Unified Armada, over 3,000 warships. Then, Earth will burn. The fleet arrived outside Earth's orbit. People across hundreds of systems. Thousands of weapons launched at once. Blinding light-filled space. Explosions thundered across the black sky. For a moment, their untouched. Not a single scratch, not a dent. The weapons had simply vanished the moment they touched the warship's surface. They didn't bounce. They didn't explode. They just stopped existing. A deep hum echoed from the Leviathans. Not a threat. No ship is that strong. An engineer looked at him, shaking. "It's not just a ship, sir. It's alive." Then, without warning, the Leviathans moved. Not fast, not aggressive. They simply turned facing the fleet. Thousands of alien soldiers felt a strange pressure in their minds, not pain. Their thoughts. One pilot screamed and ejected. Another ship shut down completely. Then, a voice echoed across all comms. It didn't come from speakers, it came from inside. We are not here to destroy, but if you continue, we will erase your sky. Some ships tried to escape. Too late, a wave of gravity flowed from the Leviathans, simply vanished. Not burned, not broken, deleted in just 3 minutes. Half of the Grand Armada was gone. The rest fled, screaming, crying, begging. Earth. Leaders sat frozen, unable to speak. Finally, someone whispered, "We shot everything we had," and they didn't even blink. On Mars Station, Dr. Rena Soul stared at her screen. New data flowed in. "Physics?" her assistant asked. "So what do we do now?" Rena answered softly. "We stop pretending Earth is weak." The galaxy was burning. Not from war, but from fear. The Grand Armada had failed. Thousands of ships gone. The Leviathans were untouched. But Earth still didn't speak. No message, no warning, no demand, just silence. And that silence was terrifying. In the outer systems of the Volcar Alliance, something strange happened. First, all communication signals stopped. Then their suns dimmed just a little. 3 entire planets went dark. No ships, no cities, no life. Gondata scout probe entered the system to investigate. What it saw shocked the galaxy. There was no war damage, no signs of attack. The planets were just ... frozen, like time had stopped. And on each moon, carved deep into the rock, one sentence appeared. You were warned. Panic spread like wildfire. Galactic leaders begged Earth for peace, but Earth didn't reply. It didn't need to. The Leviathans were already speaking with action. On a hidden research station near the edge of the galaxy, a group of alien scientists studied the energy readings left behind. "This is not just power," one said. "It's control over time, space, even memory." Another scientist gasped. "You mean they didn't destroy those systems?" The first nodded slowly. They removed them from existence. In secret, an ancient alien named Zurl once, part of the old galactic founders, made a confession to his students. "I visited Earth 500 years ago, when they were still weak. I saw something in their eyes, not fear, not hate, but silence, deep silence, like a storm waiting behind glass." He took a deep breath. "I told the council not to push them. No one listened. Now it was too late." Meanwhile, back on Earth, life continued as normal. Humans walked their streets. Kids played in parks. No one celebrated. No one panicked, because for humans, this was never about revenge. It was about warning. A quiet message sent through action. "We tried to join. You rejected us. We tried to speak. You ignored us. Now we show you what we became without you." On the planet Ek, a group of alien refugees gathered around a single screen. A transmission played again and again, looped by fear. The image showed 5 Leviathans forming a circle in deep space. A portal opened between them, large enough to swallow a star. No ships came out, no invasion, just a soft, glowing light. And one final message: "We are not your enemy, unless you choose to be." Across the galaxy, a new truth took root. Earth didn't want war, but it would not be ignored again. The galactic capital, Veltrax Prime, was the heart of the galaxy, a planet of towers, lights, and power, home to the richest empires, protected by energy shields built over 10,000 years. No enemy had ever broken through them. Not once, they said. If the galaxy ends, Veltrax will still stand. But now, Earth had arrived. System: no ships, no army, just 5 silent planet-sized warships glowing red. Humming softly, Veltrax activated all shields, 50 layers of protection, powered by a living star core. Thousands of defense satellites surrounded the capital. The people of Veltrax watched nervously, but their leaders smiled. "Let them come," one senator said. "No one can break our shields." Exactly midnight, the Leviathans moved .slow.com. Silent, they formed a ring around the capital planet. Then the sky changed. Stars disappeared, the sun dimmed, and the sound came. Not a roar, not a blast. A deep, low hum, like a heartbeat shaking space itself. The shield generators screamed. Lights flickered. The command center shouted, "Emergency! Shields at 80%, dropping fast." The generals didn't believe it. Impossible. Those shields are invincible. They weren't. 3 seconds later, every shield failed. 1.2.3. Gone. No explosions. No attack. Just silence then. Nothing. The shields didn't break. They just stopped working, like the Leviathans had looked at the laws of physics and whispered, no. Panic swept across the city. Military ships rose into the sky. They opened fire, beams, plasma, missiles, everything they had. None of it reached the Leviathans. The weapons vanished in mid-air. Then the Leviathans responded, not with guns, with a message. It came from above the skies of Veltrax, spoken in every tongue. You built towers on bones. You made laws with chains. You laughed at our silence. But now you hear our voice. Then came the final words. This is not war. This is justice. The ground began to shake, not from impact but from gravity. The Leviathans didn't fire weapons. They changed the very space around the planet. Veltrax's oceans lifted into the air. Its skies cracked like glass. Then, with a sound like a breath, the capital planet collapsed into itself, a smooth, silent crush, and just like that, Veltrax was gone. No smoke, no fire, just emptiness across the galaxy. Leaders cried. The galaxy's heart was gone, destroyed by ships Earth never even used in battle. Now, even the most powerful empires knew there is no safe place from Earth. And still, Earth said nothing. Only the Leviathan spoke, and they were not done. The galaxy was broken. The great capital, Veltrax Prime, was gone. A planet crushed like paper without a single missile fired. Billions of voices silenced the most powerful shields in history. Useless now. The survivors of nearby systems ran. They hid. They whispered. And one truth spread everywhere. Earth didn't stay silent because it was weak. Earth stayed silent because it was waiting. On a cold, forgotten moon at the edge of known space, an old archive opened by accident. Inside was a file hundreds of years old. From Earth, it was marked classified, Project Leviathan, and the first line said, "They will come, they will judge us weak, but when they come with fire, we will rise." The message was 300 years old. Before Earth even had warp travel, before they were invited Dordanita seat at the Galactic Council, they knew in a hidden research base, an alien historian wept. Humanity was never planning a war, he said. They were planning for survival. They built these ships not to attack first, but to end the last attack. He showed old footage, human colonies being destroyed by alien pirates, human diplomats being ignored, human signals being blocked. Earth begged for peace, he whispered. No one listened. On Earth, the people didn't cheer. They didn't celebrate. They just watched the stars.quiet.com because they knew the Leviathans had only acted after warnings were ignored back in deep space. The 5 Leviathans hovered near a dying star. They didn't fire. They didn't move. They just opened a portal knot, a weapon. But something new from inside. A glowing sphere emerged. It floated to a dead world, a planet ruined by war centuries ago, and then began to plant life. A message followed, just one sentence. We don't just destroy, we also rebuild. The galaxy watched, confused. Are they gods? Some asked. Machines? Monsters? Humans? No one could answer. But one thing was clear. They waited, they built, they prepared, not to conquer, but to survive. And now, it was patience. The galaxy had changed. The great empires had fallen silent. The wars had stopped. The fear remained. No one dared approach Earth anymore. No fleets entered its space. No council meetings mocked its name. Because 5 Leviathans planet-sized warships still floated quietly among the stars. They didn't move. They didn't speak. They simply watched. Some said they were sleeping. Some believed they were waiting for the next attack. Others believed they were still listening for hope across thousands of systems. Treaties were signed, borders opened, slavery ended on 5 worlds, because everyone knew if we fall back into cruelty. She pointed at a strange glowing dot among the stars. Papa, she asked, what is that? The father looked. His voice was quiet. That is one of Earth's warships. They don't attack anymore, but they're still out there. Why? She asked. He smiled sadly. Sure, we never forget. On a small refugee planet, a library was built. At its center stood a statue, a human soldier not holding a gun. System, a small exploration ship, approached something ancient. A massive ship, dead and dark. It was one of the Leviathans, but this one had shut down. No light, no hum, just silence. The pilot stepped out and walked toward the metal surface. There, glowing faintly, was a final message. Our job is done. Now every race remembered Earth, not for their ships, not for their power, but for their silence. The end. Earth didn't need to rule. They didn't need to speak, because the stars themselves now whispered the same warning. Do not wake the Leviathans.